It's beer season.
Out here beer hunting right now. So far, I haven't seen anything. Dana! Dana!
I'm over here. Where did you see it?
It's over here.
Welcome back to another
one of our
Bonfire
Bonfire
deer
beer
review.
reviews. Did you say deer?
I'm sorry, I just have hunting on the brain.
Oh my god. So
Real life Dana is out somewhere in a hunting blind right now. Pre-filmed Dana is here drinking beer for you guys.
true. Real life Eileen
For
is
you
probably
guys.
drinking beer at deer camp, waiting for Dana to get out of the woods. Basically, if you guys couldn't tell by our intro, we are kind of making sure you guys know, if you are not hunters, that we are, one, hunting, and two, sending luck to those of you who are out in the woods this weekend. Is opening weekend for Michigan. I know some of the states are not all the same, but deer season opened up yesterday, the 15th, and today is the 16th. So if some of
Such
you...
a big deal here that our schools actually
closed
have
down.
no school on opening day.
Yeah, it's a holiday.
It's a holiday for our schools. So
Yep.
it's a huge, huge deal in northern Michigan.
Make sure you leave a comment below if you bagged a buck, or if you didn't, tell us your funny hunting fail, because we definitely are going to share one today.
We are?
We are.
Oh.
Okay, so let's first talk about the beer and then we'll get into the hunting stories. This is going to be a long one, so if you're not into it, watch the beer portion and then you can go enjoy the rest of your weekend. But if you are into the hunting stuff, stay until the end. So go ahead, Dana, tell us about the beer you are doing right now.
So I'm doing a Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA. It's kind of a redemption, because I did the Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA, which
with a double.
I didn't really give a whole lot of liking to.
Which was shocking too.
And it was last year, 2017, January, something like that. But basically, Voodoo Ranger started in 1991 professionally. The guy started brewing...
New Belgium.
New Belgium started in 1991 professionally. He started out in his basement like so many others, and then he got enough accolades from family and friends that he decided to try and go for it. His wife was his basically
Everything.
promoter,
CEO.
financial CEO, the whole bit.
Marketer, yeah.
Marketer. He went next door, which is where they started, to his neighbor, who was an artist, and she did a lot of the watercolor art for the bottles, for the labels, and continued to do that while they built their business until she stopped doing art and they transferred it over to camera ready style art. They have, I think you said...
Three locations.
3 locations, but they're all based out of Colorado.
Yep, Denver, Asheville, and there's one more. It's their main one, Fort Collins.
So, kind of cool is he brought a jug of his homebrew out. They're huge outdoors people like us. Brought a jug of his homebrew to the national park along with a notepad. Some hikers came along, asked him what he was drinking, gave him some. They fell in love with it, and it kind of just grew from there. We've found a lot of their beers that we actually like because of the camera work and stuff like that. One of the main ones was Fat Tire, which was inspired by, you know, those mountain bikes with the big fat tire on them. That's where it was inspired. So a beer that Eileen and I have enjoyed many, many times.
They also, I like this one, I think it's called Snapshot Porter, or maybe it might be a stout.
Yes, it's
but it has an old style antique camera on it. There's also Citradelic, that's another beer we really like, it's an IPA. And then the other one is Hopsecutioner, that is a recent release within the last year or so that Dana loves. But for whatever reason, that double IPA, he did not like it. I think he literally gave it a 1.5 on Untapped. Bad. And when I read him the specs before we started filming, he was like, ooh, that sounds great, that sounds wonderful. And I said, yeah, you gave it a 1.5. And he's like, okay. Yeah. So that's what he means. It's kind of a redemption.
So my tastes have matured. My beer palate has matured. My beer belly has matured. So we're going to give it another shot. It's got 5 hops in it, and I can't remember what they are exactly.
I know that the one that is less common is Nugget hops. It's in it.
Nugget hops.
But there's Citra, Simcoe, Cascade, Nugget, and one more, but I don't remember it.
Thank you. Eileen is an encyclopedia. I'm not.
Five.
7.5 ABV. It doesn't list an IBU.
42.
42 IBU. My wife is an encyclopedia. And it's got a cool little army guy on the front and a skeleton and a hat with a bomber hat, which I wear during the winter. If you've seen some of the other Bonfire beer reviews.
Yep.
So, kind of looks like me a little bit, I think.
A little bit like you.
He may be more handsome. So anyway,
No.
let's give it a nose.
And it did have a aggressive head when we first poured it.
Oh,
we
yeah.
let it settle.
Huge. It
It's
smells delicious. It's juicy, crisp, clean.
supposed to be really tropical.
I smell tropics.
Guava and pineapple. You smell any of that?
Yeah, maybe orange, guava, pineapple, tangerine, maybe. A faint yeasty smell.
Interesting you say that too, because they actually consider this to be a slight nod towards a New England style or even a Hefeweizen because they have yeast in it. So it's supposed to have the unfiltered haziness.
And it's
And
definitely
And you're gonna
looks
have-
unfiltered and hazy.
And there's going to be floaties in there from
Now,
the yeast, and
this-
it's intentional.
This is not a Speak Loud.
That's not.
Oh.
It's dirty from the other Bonfire beer review. We got a beer glass clean. So, you know, dirty glass mafia, you can just stay at home. We don't want to hear your crap.
Yeah, so I'm drinking out of a Libby
I think so.
beer glass.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I guess I'll
Put your extended pinky
keep
back
my
down and just
pinky
drink
in
your
for
beer.
this. Not as lively as I'd like. Definitely taste the yeast. Almost muddies it down a little bit. Not as crisp as I would like. Not a bad beer. I would say 3.5, 3.75. It would be a 4 if it weren't for that yeasty, muddied down taste.
Okay. I actually like it. I think it's really good. It's very tropical. I taste orange, I taste guava, I taste pineapple for sure. I'm not getting a lot of bitterness, and I'm not getting a lot of hops, which is something that I expected. The overall rating, I'm not sure if Daniel mentioned it, is 3.6 on Untapped. So, and it's off like 73,000 reviews or so. I would give this a 3.75, and I agree that I would say it's a 4 if it wasn't a little bit malty. It's a little bit like bready, a little bit funky. It is crisp and clean, but it definitely has a muddy after effect in the mouth. So it's not bad though. It's a good beer.
It's not
really
bad.
good
It's just
flavor.
not as lively as I would like it to be.
It's better than a
And
1.5 though.
True. There's a beer, gosh, which one is it? It's another juicy IPA like that I absolutely love.
The Squeezed.
Fresh Squeezed.
Fresh
I
Squeezed
think.
IPA,
And
which
I
is a
absolutely
Grand
love
Armory.
it. And this one is almost there.
But that one's not hazy.
No. And I think the haziness kind of dulls it down for me.
So it's kind of weird. It's almost like the IPA hop heads are divided when it comes to hazy or no haze.
And
To
honestly,
haze or
I
not
could go
haze.
either way.
Yeah.
I like hazy IPAs, and I also like crisp, refreshing, bright notes IPAs.
Yeah.
And this one just kind of falls short of both.
Yeah.
I think a little
Okay.
bit. And I'm
Good
not
beer, though.
slamming the beer. It's a good beer. It just, my expectation was here, and it's kind of here.
Gotcha. All right, well, we're going to get into my beer now. So, I am doing a Elysian Night Owl Pumpkin Ale. Yes, I know it is not October anymore, but this beer only is released August through October every year. So if you have some that you have access to right now, grab it. Well, maybe I'm speaking too quickly, unless it's terrible. But if it's really good, then grab it.
If it's really good, grab it.
Yeah, but if it's not good, then forget everything I'm saying. But I was lucky enough to find this one in a single, so I was able to grab it really quick. And if I love it, I'm going to be really sad because it's not going to be redistributed until next year. So this one is by Elysian, like I said. They're one of the breweries that we actually really dig for a couple of reasons.
Love them.
They make Space Dust IPA, and they also make the Night Glow or Day Glow IPA.
Day Glow.
We've done both of those on Bonfire Beer Review. If you have not seen those, check out the playlist. I'll list it down below or here in a card, and you can see what we thought about those two beers.
Incredible artwork on that.
That's the biggest thing, is you see the artwork, whether it's on the case or it's on the actual bottle, and it grabs you. You'll be walking down the aisle, pushing your cart, and you're like, holy cow, what's that? Because they use metallic elements to
Almost
the actual...
holographic.
Yeah, and so it catches the light, and it pulls you in, and you're interested. So it's one of those, judge the beer by its cover if you want to, but they're worth it. They taste as good as they look. So this one pours very deep amber. in color. It did have more of an aggressive head in it when I first poured it. This is 6.7% ABV. It says an original pumpkin ale brewed with pumpkin, roasted and raw pumpkin seeds, and spiced in conditioning with nutmeg, clove, cinnamon, ginger, and allspice. So definitely very, very spicy on this one. Has a really cool night owl. It's actually the exact breed of owl that is tattooed on my underarm. And it has like an ominous, dark,
He's pretty cool looking.
wooded
He's really
background.
cool looking.
He's actually really pretty. So I'm gonna give this one a smell. Oh my goodness, that is real spicy. Real spicy.
Does
It
it
smells
smell
like a pumpkin pie.
Does it?
Yeah,
Oh,
pumpkin pie for sure.
yeah, pumpkin, cloves, maybe? A little bit of
Pumpkin
cloves.
pie for sure. Really quick, I wanted to touch base on a couple of fun facts about Allison. So the biggest thing from them, they're from Seattle, Washington, and they've been open since 1996. They've done 350 different recipes in that time frame. They're known for using unusual ingredients, but the biggest thing that I think is interesting, and I'm really happy that I finally am trying one of their pumpkin beers, because they actually host a pumpkin beer festival every year, and they actually pour all the different beers out of giant pumpkins.
All right, that's
Which is really cool. And they've won like best Brewer Association award the last 3 years or so for the area that they're in. They first opened their doors in Capitol Hill, which is a very popular neighborhood in the Seattle area. So again, we love
Different
them.
Washington
And I'm very excited to try this, especially after finding out that they host a pumpkin festival.
It's true.
It's really cool. Okay, so I already told you the scent on this one. I already gave you the nose, so I'm gonna just jump right in. You're not gonna like this
Oh, all right.
because it truly tastes like pumpkin.
Well, let me get in.
They actually use 7 pounds of pumpkin in every barrel of this beer that they brew. 7 pounds, like that's crazy.
Which is not really though. When you think about the
I
fact
think
that
so.
a pumpkin this big is 25 pounds.
Yes, but most pumpkin beers are just kind of a hint of pumpkin so that they can say it's a pumpkin beer and have it be seasonal. Whereas this one, like they're really infusing that flavor and filtering out any of the excess material that's in there. But Brad Allison, shout out to Brad Allison, he actually reviewed this beer on Untapped. He gave it a 5. A 5 out of 5. He said best pumpkin beer he's ever tried.
Really?
His review probably is already up, so if it is, I will link that video down below. Make sure you check it out.
Highway Brewing Company had that really. It's in
West Branch.
West Branch.
Yep.
So if you haven't seen that video, go check it out.
And I give this one a 4.25.
I like that.
You like it?
I agree with Brad. That's a 5.
I give it a 4.25.
That's a 5. That's a delicious
It's
beer.
good. Now,
I
see,
wish I had some whipped cream to go with that beer. That
Well,
is so good.
the flavors are perfect. They're kind of folded in and very intricate, really good balance on it. The thing that gets me
Oh, that's good.
is it's the mouthfeel, honestly. It's not as smooth as I thought that it would be to kind of mingle with the flavors that are in here, because it almost has that, like we said, pumpkin pie effect as far as the nose, as far as the flavor profile. So I almost want it to be creamy and smooth like a pumpkin pie would be, and it's not. So for that reason,
I think it's delicious.
I didn't say it wasn't. I just said it's not a 5.
Like, it's an amazing beer.
I'm harsh on my pumpkin.
I know, but that's
It's pumpkin spice season still,
Well,
thank you very much. Until Thanksgiving, it is pumpkin spice season for me.
And then it becomes what?
Peppermint mocha. Peppermint mocha season.
Peppermint mocha season. There's only like pumpkin spice season and peppermint mocha season after.
Nuh-uh. I like raspberry vanilla during the summertime. Yeah, I have some fruit in there.
I understand.
Okay. All right. So now that we went over the beer, this next half of the video is going to be 2 quick hunting stories. I'm going to give a quick story because I've only been hunting a handful of times. It's not really my thing. I like to be at deer camp. I like to be out in the woods. I'm down to hunt. I'm good at shooting. I'm good at all that kind of stuff. I like to throw knives. So I don't mind having a weapon in my hand, for sure. Anyway, my quick little story, it's not very detailed, but... So the first time I ever went hunting, I went with my dad. I was only 5 years old, so I'm a little girl. I was a hyper child. So,
I can't believe that you were a hyper child.
Are you like being sarcastic? So I brought coloring books and I brought a bunch of blankets, and he gets me into this little 2-person wooden blind that he built. And my dad's a big guy, so he doesn't really get cold very easily, and he was totally fine. We had a heater in there, and I'm wrapped up completely in blankets. So I'm trying to whisper and have conversations with my dad while he's trying to focus on hunting, but also include me in it. But I'm only 5, so it's like, I'm not even sure why he brought me, to be honest. Like, I'm not even old enough to really understand what's going on. So I'm jumping up and down like this in my seat, going like, Dad, 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 what are you doing? Dad, what are you looking at? Can I see? Can I hold the gun? Can I do this? Can I do this? And I'm like asking all these questions, and he's like, Eileen, stop. We're hunting. You have to be quiet. So I started like laughing and like coloring stuff and showing him the color. Look at, I made a bunny. Do you like the bunny? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm telling him all these things, and all of a sudden there's a deer, like a buck, right in front of him. And I think it was like a 6 or an 8 point, but he like big enough that he wanted to take it. And he goes like this, and he puts his hand on my mouth, and he's like, Eileen, you need to be quiet. So I'm like, going like that, like, okay. So I was quiet until I started sneezing. And the deer ran away, and he did not get the deer, and he didn't take me again.
So you started sneezing?
Yeah.
Was he about to shoot?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. First of all, your dad gets Father of the Year for taking you hunting.
I
like
think I just begged him
that's...
because he would take my brothers. Well, not my little brother because he wasn't alive yet, but my older brother he would take, and I got jealous. And I was like, you know, I was really close with my dad, and I always have been, and I wanted to go, and I didn't like that because I was the girl that I was excluded. So he took me, and my mom really didn't like the idea, but it was sweet of him to take me. And I think he probably went into it knowing he wasn't going to get anything because I'm very talkative. For those of you who don't know, so it just didn't work for him. That's my story. That's all I have to say. Dana, tell your story. What happened last year with Charlie, and give them the details because it's a good story.
All right, so I was at work and I got a call. It was opening bow season and I hadn't even got my license yet. But I got a call from my brother and he says, hey, let's go out, let's go out hunting. So I'm like, okay, I'll leave work a little bit early and I'll come over. I'm not gonna hunt with you. I don't have a crossbow. I don't have anything. So I'll come and hang out in the blind with you. So I went out. We're in the blind for, I don't know, an hour maybe. Charlie gets bored. Not me, I'm fine. I'm just sitting there talking to him, whispering quietly, and he gets bored. So he goes, let's go see if we can track some deer. It's later, it's about 5-ish. And I think
later than that because
I think this is at the time that we were living there, living with your parents because our house hadn't closed yet.
Yeah.
So we're there.
Like, yeah, it was
so
like
it's getting
2
later.
weeks before
It's getting later,
closed.
and it's about 5:30. So it's starting to get just at that point where it's starting to get dark.
Yeah.
And we had a much earlier winter last year than we did this year. So it's getting a little bit dark, and we're like, let's go, see if we can track some deer. So we find some game trails, and we're walking the game trails, and we're literally he has a crossbow. I have nothing. I have my pocket knife. That's it. So he's decked out though. He's got a backpack on, and he's got his crossbow. I don't have a gun, a crossbow, my little knife, nothing else. So we're following this game trail, and we followed it probably for maybe a mile and a half. And we're still on your parents' property. We're still on their property, but we're kind of walking and tracking these trails. And that's when it started. We start hearing the howling of the coyotes. So the coyotes in northern Michigan are really bad.
They're a
so
problem.
bad that they're shoot on sight almost,
Open kill tag.
because
Yeah.
it's an open kill tag. They're so bad, like people's dogs have gotten killed from coyotes.
And it's actually worse
really
this
bad.
year than last.
So when you kill a deer or shoot a deer, you have to get to it immediately or the coyotes will take it from you. And now we have wolves to add into the mix. But
Yay.
so the coyote starts and we hear one, and it's kind of over here. And he goes, wow, that was close. And I go, yeah, it was. And I'm thinking, I got nothing. I've got no weapons, nothing. What am I going to kick a coyote? So then I hear
bunt it.
I hear another one over here. So I've got a coyote that just howled here, a coyote that just howled here. This one sounds closer than that one. And Charlie says, that was really close. Then we hear another one
He
here.
really knows how to make you comfortable.
There's another one here. And he goes, wow. And then I hear another one behind us. So there's literally coyotes
Swarming them.
swarming us, circling us, and so he says to me, "All right, let's go." And I'm like, "Good
But
idea."
be quiet, right?
But be quiet. That I know there's wild dogs that want to kill us. So he says, "Go quietly and slowly." So we're walking, and I'm being as quiet as I can, and I have to do this because I'm walking like this.
Doesn't he hand you something though first?
So he goes, "You know what? Here, take my knife." And he hands me a knife, and I'm grateful for the knife. The knife is that long. It's not much longer than my regular pocket
He has
knife.
a crossbow.
He's got a crossbow. So he's got one arrow at best, and I've got a knife and a pocket knife. And I'm like, this is gonna be great. So I'm walking like this as closely as I can to Charlie because he's got the weapons. And I'm peeling back the branches,
Like
quietly,
ever so
stealthily,
gently.
trying not to crunch on the leaves. And we hear another coyote. Oh! Charlie starts booking it. I mean, he's
Being
like
loud, like
being
Bigfoot
loud,
in it.
crunching through, breaking branches. I'm
So
like,
he got freaked out and just
he
ran,
takes off,
ran
and I'm
away.
standing there with my pocket knife and my little hunting knife, going, "What the f?" But anyway, that's my hunting story. We made it back safe and sound. We never saw the coyotes, but we never saw any deer either. And thanks, Charlie, for that. I appreciate it.
I was getting worried. We were all kind of getting worried. And then I get a text like 40 minutes later that says, "Sorry, running away from coyotes. Be home soon." And we're like, what? So we had all sat there waiting for the boys to get back to hear about this coyote story. So it's really funny to me because they both reenacted it when they told us the story. And Charlie was laughing his butt off because Dana's like, yeah, he just handed me a tiny knife and ran away with the crossbow.
It literally. Thanks, Charlie.
Again, we hope you're safe out there. Good luck to those of you hunting. Please let us know if you bagged a buck in the comments or if you have any funny hunting stories you'd like to tell us. We'd love to hear them. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Stay warm, drink good beer, and cheers.
Cheers. Not so fast. My beer.
Darn it.